Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Chapter 31. Destroying corpses and eradicating traces, there may be danger here. Boom, boom, boom. A corpse was thrown into the air. The explosions continued. Lin Moyu detonated all the corpses. There was a real destruction of corpses and traces. After doing all this, Lin Moyu entered the copy. The scattered people who had protested before finally dared to come over. When the corpse exploded, the terrifying energy was like a knife scraping their bodies aching. Hey, they're all dead. There really wasn't a single one left. Not only did no one stay, even the corpse was left behind. Really destroying corpses and eradicating traces, people really don't talk too much cruelly. This time, we have tied the knot with the Dynasty Guild. The Dynasty Guild will not let it go so easily. What should we do? Wang Yi suddenly stood up and said, everyone, with the character of the Dynasty Guild, they will definitely not let it go. If caught by them, no matter whether we say it or not, the end will be a dead word. I have a proposal. It's better for everyone to retreat now. Leave Shihai City, leave Jiangning Province, and stay away from the sphere of influence of the Dynasty Guild. Anyway, there is more than one place where you can level up, and the Dynasty Guild is not a god, so you may not be able to find us. His proposal was immediately accepted by everyone. As he said, the Dynasty Guild is not a good bird. As long as they are caught, it doesn't matter whether you say it or not, the end will be the same. Wang Yi clasped his fists together. I'll take a step first, and see you all by chance. See you soon. With his incitement, everyone retreated one after another, and the door of the dungeon became empty in a blink of an eye. The fire was extinguished, and there was only a black vortex slowly rotating at the entrance of the Shihai mine instance, making a faint whirring sound. Moonlight reigns over the area again. Half an hour later, several people were teleported out of the dungeon. Wang Zihao had a little disappointment on his face. This trip to the dungeon still failed to obtain the crystal nucleus of the Goblin King. It will take 12 hours to enter the copy next time. But he still has a chance. There are still a few days before the big exam, and he can enter at least 4 dungeons. Hey, why is there no one? Where did Zhao Ji go? Where are so many scattered people going? Something doesn't seem right. Zhao Ji disappeared, and all the scattered people disappeared. What happened? The few people who accompanied Wang Zihao to the dungeon showed panic. They are all only level 17, and their experience is far inferior to Zhao Ji and others. At this time, they can only rely on Wang Zihao as the backbone. After all, he is the young president of the Dynasty Guild. But Wang Zihao was also confused. His whole face was covered with question marks. After thinking about it for a long time, he said, put the signal flare. If Zhao Ji is nearby, there will be a response when he sees it. A signal bomb was lifted into the air and exploded in the air, forming a huge ball of light. It can be seen clearly in a radius of 10 miles. There was no response until the signal flare was completely extinguished, indicating that Zhao Ji and others should not be here. Wang Zihao realized that Zhao Ji and others must have encountered something during the time he entered the dungeon. Otherwise it is impossible to leave. Will Zhao Ji be killed? With the strength of Zhao Ji and others, there is a crushing existence in this area. He wouldn't think about it either. Even if you were to be killed, you would definitely leave traces. But there was nothing in front of my eyes. Not only Zhao Ji is not here, but everyone else is gone too. Something must have happened here. Maybe there will be danger. Let's leave first. Go back and see if we can contact Zhao Ji. The atmosphere here was too weird. Wang Zihao decided to leave first. Lin Moyu is alone in the copy, and 64 skeleton warriors are rampaging all the way. The style of play is exactly the same as before, and the experience has increased rapidly. This time the efficiency was higher than last time. Lin Moyu had come to the end of the instance after only 1 hour. 64 skeleton warriors surrounded them together, bombarding the Goblin King indiscriminately. There was a sound like iron strikes. Lin Moyu has previous experience. Whenever the Goblin King wants to activate a skill, he interrupts it with Soul Flame. The Soul Flame is almost instant, a bit faster than the Goblin King's skill. In less than 30 seconds, the big boss of the dignified nightmare-level dungeon fell to the ground and died in extreme frustration. Kill the King of Goblins, experience plus 40,000. Obtain a bronze level weapon, the magic book of the Goblin King. Close black lens bracket. Obtain a low-level monster crystal nucleus. Close black lens bracket. Sure enough, this time, instead of dropping the Goblin King's crystal nucleus, it became a low-level monster crystal nucleus. The Goblin King's crystal nucleus will drop once every 100 days, which highlights its preciousness. Lin Moyu thought that when he arrived at Shajing Academy, he might be able to find an alchemist to make the ring of the Goblin King from the crystal nucleus of the Goblin King. This kind of boss jewelry, no matter what profession or level, is very easy to use. Lin Moyu checked the attributes of the Goblin King's magic book. Goblin King's magic book. Bronze level, Spirit plus 10, Constitution plus 10, Mage type skills increase by 3%, available after level 12. Close black lens bracket. Looking at the attributes, although it is not very suitable, it can be used. Holding a book seems to be a bit interesting. Mage skills increase the power by 3%, which is useful for soul flames and corpse explosions, but not for skeleton warriors. Skeleton warriors don't seem to belong to law and are mage skills. The upgraded light on his body has not completely disappeared. Lin Moyu reached level 13 while killing the Goblin King. Experience requirements have begun to increase. The next copy should be less than level 14. If you want to reach level 15, you need to play 3 more times. Based on time, I can download at most 5 copies, and at most I can reach level 16. It's a little worse than expected. It should be enough for the 16th grade entrance examination at Shajing Academy. Lin Moyu quit the copy. It was very quiet outside the dungeon, it was unusually quiet. All gone. Lin Moyu thought for a while, and basically understood the cause and effect. Leaving may be the best choice for these scattered people. Looking around, he didn't stop. Quickly sank into the darkness and disappeared. Chapter 32. The warm sun lifted into the sky, and the earth ushered in the second day. Finally, another team came to the copy door. Hey, why is there no one today? It used to be very lively. Strange, where did everyone go? The team was puzzled, but didn't think much of it. They chose normal difficulty and entered the dungeon. Then people came over one after another, and the entrance of the dungeon became lively again. After the dungeon cooldown period ended, Lin Moyu came back again and entered the dungeon. What a weirdo. It's so cold, I don't have a word. The summoned creature around him is so cool. Although it's a bit scary, it's really cool. What's the use of being cool? People just ignore us. I saw that he went in alone, as if he wanted to do solo. It's Lin Moyu. Xia Xue saw Lin Moyu entering the dungeon alone from a distance. The skeleton warrior beside Lin Moyu is too conspicuous. She knew that only Lin Moyu had such a summoner in the whole world. Necromancer is a unique profession, there will be no second one. Xia Xue's eyes were complicated, he wants to single-handedly. Biting his lips. She just reached level 10 today, so she came directly to the dungeon. Although she is only level 10, she can easily find a team with her rare profession, elemental mage status. The copy of the West Sea Mine is only a level 14 copy, and the difficulty is actually not high. This is especially true on normal difficulty. However, it is still not easy to brush alone. Unexpectedly, Lin Moyu was able to swipe solo, and walked in front of him again. Dissatisfaction flashed in Xia Xue's eyes. I won't lose to you, just wait and see. Soon she also found the team and entered the dungeon. Lin Moyu pushes all the way in the nightmare level dungeon. After the upgrade yesterday, the number of skeleton warriors has reached 68. Later, after 12 hours of meditation, my mental strength was completely restored. After entering the instance, Lin Moyu summoned 4 more cruises as fighters. Now there are 72 skeleton warriors forming a huge army. Efficiency is higher than before. Wherever the skeleton warriors went, not a single blade of grass grew. In addition, Lin Moyu is already very familiar with the dungeon, so the advancement speed is faster. Just 45 minutes later, Lin Moyu met an old friend. Don't sleep, wake up. The Goblin King comes to life on the sword of the skeleton warrior. By the time it stood up, most of its vitality had been lost. Fire came out of its mouth, and then the soul flame descended, interrupting its skills. In less than 30 seconds, the Goblin King fell aggrieved again. Kill the King of Goblins, experience plus 40,000. Obtain a bronze level weapon, the longbow of the Goblin King. Close black lens bracket. Obtain a low-level monster crystal nucleus. Close black lens bracket. Longbow of the Goblin King. Bronze level, strength plus 10, agility plus 10, bow skill power increased by 3%, available after level 12. Close black lens bracket. The dropped things are still the same. Lin Moyu just took a look and put them into the storage space. The Goblin King's eyes were full of unwillingness and depression. That look, as if he knew Lin Moyu. Don't be depressed, I won't come if I come a few more times. Anyway, you are the one who was killed, it doesn't matter if you are killed by anyone, isn't it? And I will kill you faster and suffer less. Actually, I don't want to kill you, but I can't help it. I want to upgrade. Lin Moyu whispered to the Goblin King, regardless of whether the Goblin King could understand or not. It was not much different from what Lin Moyu expected, and this time he really failed to complete the upgrade. 20% away from level 14. You can upgrade next time. Lin Moyu left the instance, and then quickly left without staying in the instance. In the afternoon, a group of people from the Dynasty Guild came to the copy. The young president, Wang Zihao, was not there, and neither were the people who teamed up with him to download the dungeon yesterday. The Dynasty Guild is not here to download the dungeon this time, but to investigate what happened yesterday. There was no news from Zhao Jiniao, including the dozen or so people he brought with him. The scattered people who were present at that time also disappeared one by one, as if the world had evaporated. This time, the members of the Dynasty Guild were very restrained and did not do anything excessive. It's polite even if you ask. After some questioning, the answer I got was that I didn't know. Because everyone present here just arrived today, they don't know anything about what happened yesterday. They investigated for a long time but failed to get any results. In the end, I can only retreat. Somehow, the news that the Dynasty Guild blocked the dungeon spread, causing strong protests from many people. The professional association issued a warning to the Dynasty Guild today. If they do it again, the consequences awaiting them will be severe. Instances are the resources of all human beings, not something that their guild can block at will. Not to mention a day or two, even an hour. At the headquarters of the Dynasty Guild, the president Wang Wei pointed at Wang Zihao and scolded him head and face. Has your brain been eaten by a mad dog? How did you come up with the idea of blocking the dungeon? Can you cover the sky with one hand when you are our Dynasty Guild? Is it just a show for you to be the Xia Empire and the Professionals Association? If you want to die, die yourself, don't drag the Dynasty Guild into the water. Don't go anywhere these days, just stay in the guild. Anyway, your level is enough, so you can wait for the big exam with peace of mind. Wang Wei scolded Wang Zihao. Wang Zihao lowered his head and said nothing, held back for a long time before asking, then what about Zhao Ji and the others? I have already sent people to investigate, so don't worry about this matter. It's beyond your control to make so many people disappear at once. Wang Wei waved his hand and let him go down. Anyway, Wang Zihao was already level 16, so it was enough to take the Shajing Academy. Even if he was locked up for a few days and couldn't be upgraded, it wouldn't have a big impact. Chapter 33. At night, Lin Moyu entered the dungeon for the fourth time. This time, the number of skeleton warriors has increased to 76. After clearing the level for the first 3 times, he already knows this copy like the back of his hand. After entering the dungeon, a brand new idea popped up in my heart. You can try it. If feasible, it can be used in other dungeons in the future. Thinking of it and doing it, all the skeleton warriors rushed into the mine like a tide. A large number of monsters in the mine were attracted by the skeleton warriors, but the skeleton warriors did not fight them, but kept running to the depths of the dungeon. So a strange scene was formed in the dungeon. A large number of skeleton warriors ran in front, followed by a large number of goblin monsters. Behind the goblin monster, there is also Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu was also running, following behind the team with a smile on his face. After the skeleton warrior reaches the bronze level, the limit distance between the skeleton warrior and him has been increased to 1,000 meters. He just needs to stay within 1,000 meters. With nearly 100 monsters in the mine tunnel, they ran all the way to the mine Wolf King. The arrival of the skeleton warrior also awakened the Mine Wolf King. The Mine Wolf King started to attack the skeleton warriors, but the skeleton warriors ignored it. Wait until all the monsters behind have chased them over. Under the command of Lin Moyu, the scope of the skeleton warriors' activities has become smaller and smaller. The range of monsters is also getting smaller and smaller, and these monsters are gathered together. At this time, the figure of Lin Moyu had appeared at the entrance of the mine. The skeleton warrior suddenly launched an attack, instantly killing one of the goblin mine guards. Then the body was thrown high. The corpse exploded. Lin Moyu, who had been waiting for a long time, activated his skill and detonated the corpse. There was a loud bang. The entire mine was shaking, and countless gravels fell from the rock wall. Cobrin mine guards fell in pieces. In Lin Moran's place, various reminders began to flash again. There are too many reminders to read, and Lin Moyu has no time to read them. A large number of new corpses have been produced, and he has continuously used corpse explosion for 10 times in a row. 10 times of huge roars, the ground of the dungeon was forcibly cut off a layer. The Mine Wolf King didn't escape back to the passage this time, and died directly in the body explosion. At this time, the iron gate in the passage was opened, and a large number of mine wolves ran out. Only then did Lin Moyu understand that these gates would open automatically without the need for the Mine Wolf King to run back and call. Go on, pull them all into the mine. Lin Moyu gave an order, and the skeleton warrior ran towards the mine again. What's in the mine? Except for some goblin monsters, then there is only the Goblin King. The skeleton warrior dragged hundreds of mine wolves and ran in without hesitation. Lin Moyu followed behind. At this moment, he was emitting an upgraded radiance. The wave of group monster bombing just now made him reach level 14. And now, it was only 5 minutes before he entered the instance. This speed is so fast that it is unimaginable. The skeleton warriors ran down the passage of the mine pit, attracting all the monsters in the pit. When they reached the bottom of the mine, there were already more than 200 monsters following the team. Goblin monsters, mine wolves, huddled together. The Goblin King gradually woke up, his eyes full of doubts. What the hell is this? I am coming again. Lin Moyu has also gone down. The skeleton warrior stopped running and began to fight back. Furious blow. Red lights up on the broadsword, swinging skills. With a scream, a fierce mine wolf instantly took shape. The corpse flew up and exploded in the air. The corpse exploded. Boom, boom. The roar continued, almost blowing the mine down. The experience value rose rapidly. A dizzying array of tips. Lots of material items go into backpacks. The king of goblins who just woke up and hasn't even stood up yet. In a dozen consecutive corpse burst attacks, he fell to the ground with a crash. This time it was worse than the previous few times, but it also died more simply. Even if there is pain, it only takes a few seconds. Looking at the unwilling Goblin King, Lin Moyu sighed softly. I won't come again 3 times. The implication is that you have to die 3 more times. Anyway, you're used to dying. People come to kill you every day. Kill the King of Goblins, experience plus 40,000. Obtain a bronze level weapon, the Staff of the Goblin King. Close black lens bracket. Obtain a low-level monster crystal nucleus. Close black lens bracket. Goblin King's Staff. Bronze level, Spirit plus 10, Constitution plus 10, Mage type skills increased by 3%, available after level 12. Close black lens bracket. I looked at my own experience, 60% at level 14. Next time you come in, you can reach level 15. After reaching level 15, the experience requirement will increase again. Lift at least 2 to 3 times. Calculating the time, I can come in 3 more times at most, and I should be able to reach level 16 without any accidents. However, it depends on the experience requirements after level 15. At this time, the usual bustle has resumed outside the dungeon. The number of people is a little less than before, and the group of people has also changed. Lin Moyu didn't see a familiar face at a glance. He heard from other people's conversations that the Dynasty Guild had come. Obviously, the Dynasty Guild didn't get any useful information. Lin Moyu did not stay away this time, but found a secluded place to meditate. 4 more skeleton fighters have been added, and the number has reached 76. The four-dimensional attribute of each skeleton warrior is as high as 4,600, which is higher than that of the nightmare-level dungeon boss Goblin King. The only downside is that the skills are not strong enough. It's not like the Goblin King has a super-lethal skill like Flame Spray. Lin Moyu, who was meditating, suddenly received a message from the skeleton warrior. Someone is approaching. Chapter 34. How old are you? Hearing a familiar voice, he opened his eyes and saw Xia Xue. There was a touch of dust on Xia Xue's delicate face, and there was a surge of elemental breath on her body. Obviously just experienced the battle, she just came out of the copy. She stared at Lin Moyu with dissatisfaction on her face. Lin Moyu said calmly, level 14. What? Xia Xue screamed, how could you be so fast? She teamed up with others and brushed the normal difficulty of the Shihai Mine dungeon twice in a row, rising from level 10 to level 11. 2 copies in a row had exhausted her. Even if Lin Moyu can brush the instance alone, it is impossible for him to upgrade so quickly. No matter what, Xia Xue could never have imagined that Lin Moyu was playing on nightmare difficulty. Lin Moyu did not continue to answer Xia Xue. Believe it or not, based on Xia Xue's understanding of Lin Moyu, she knew that Lin Moyu would not talk nonsense. Since he said level 14, it must be level 14. The dissatisfaction in Xia Xue's eyes became more and more intense. The higher the level, the slower the upgrade. On the first day of the novice dungeon, I am level 5 and Lin Moyu is level 7. 2 levels off. Logically speaking, the distance should be shortened now. Why is it that I am only level 11, but Lin Moyu is level 14, which increases the distance? Xia Xue snorted, I won't admit defeat. With that she turned and left. Lin Moyu looked at her, not knowing what to say. In the past few years, I have always held Xia Xue down. Before changing jobs, he had always been the first in all subjects, and Xia Xuewanian was the second child. After the job change, his level rose all the way, leaving Xia Xue behind again. Lin Moyu also understood that Xia Xue was still unconvinced and wanted to fight with herself. This is always the case whether it is before or after a job change. But I never gave her a chance. Suddenly he saw Xia Xue and a few people entering the dungeon. Strange, didn't she just come out? How did you get in again so quickly? Why doesn't the dungeon have a cooling time? Lin Moyu saw something incredible. He has tried whether it is normal difficulty or nightmare difficulty, the dungeon has a cooldown time. And both are common. After clearing the nightmare difficulty, he also couldn't enter the normal difficulty within 12 hours. But how could Xia Xue get in again so quickly? Lin Moyu is sure that Xia Xue just came out of the dungeon not long ago. The fighting breath on her body still exists and has not completely subsided. And there is the breath of the Goblin King. This can't be fooled. While Lin Moyu was meditating, he let the skeleton warriors observe. 2 hours later, Xia Xue's figure reappeared at the entrance of the dungeon. She completed a dungeon. After coming out of the dungeon, Xia Xue didn't forget to turn her head to look at Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu saw exhaustion from her expression. It is the overdraft caused by the continuous battle. In just 10 minutes, Xia Xue found another team and entered the instance again. Lin Moyu found that she seemed to use a prop before she entered the instance. At that time, there was a glimmer of light on her body. Lin Moyu guessed that it was this prop that made Xia Xue ignore the cooling time of the copy. If you have a chance, you can ask. Lin Moyu thought in his heart and re-entered the state of meditation. Mental strength gradually recovered. As the level gets higher and higher, the attribute of mental power is also highlighted. Now his basic mental power has reached 700, far exceeding other attributes. This is also the characteristic of the mage profession, with extremely high mental power. In exchange for other attributes are extremely poor. There is no balance. Every profession has its own characteristics, which Lin Moyu chooses to accept. A few hours later, the sound of slightly heavy footsteps sounded in my ears. Xia Xue walked to Lin Moyu and sat down beside Lin Moyu with exhaustion all over her body. Even if there is no cooling time limit, it is impossible for her to brush copies continuously. The body is overwhelmed. I'm exhausted. Xia Xue collapsed on the ground without any image. She is not afraid of the skeleton warriors beside Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu is also her classmate, so there is nothing to be afraid of. After resting for a while, Xia Xue recovered a little bit of energy. My lady is already level 12, and I will catch up with you soon. At level 12, if you team up with a normal dungeon, you need at least 3 to 4 times to upgrade to a level. It is difficult to catch up with him. Lin Moyu looked at the exhausted Xia Xue. Aren't you tired? Xia Xue snorted. Tired? Why not tired? Miss Ben doesn't want to move a single finger now. Why? Xia Xue looked angry. Why? You still have the face to ask me why. After being suppressed by you for so many years, this lady must surpass you. Just because of this. Lin Moyu didn't expect Xia Xue's resentment to be so heavy. She knew that she would get the first place in a certain exam. Xia Xue looked at the sky. Of course it's more than that. I'm going to be admitted to Xiaojing Academy, so you should also be admitted to Xiaojing Academy, so you should understand. If you want to take the Xiaojing Academy, you need at least level 14, the safe point is level 15, and the safest level is level 16. With a little more than 2 days left, Lin Moyu felt that Xia Xue would only reach level 14 at most, and it would be very difficult to reach level 15. Unless, Lin Moyu whispered, you should go to the nightmare level dungeon, so that the upgrade can be faster. Are you kidding? The elite team is not so easy to find. Those elite teams want professionals at level 16 and 17. I'm only level 12. No one wants me. Xia Xuebai glanced at Lin Moyu, as if to say, do you understand or not? Looking at the elite team waving flags and shouting for important people at the entrance of the dungeon, in addition to requirements for level occupations, they also have requirements for equipment. Unless you are a wet nurse, the requirements can be lowered appropriately. An output class like Xia Xue has the highest requirements. Seeing that Lin Moyu didn't speak, Xia Xue said to herself, that's why, I'd better do a few more normal level dungeons. Level 14 should be fine, and maybe level 15 is possible with a bit of effort. Listening to her words, Lin Moyu finally asked, why can you ignore the cooling time? Chapter 35. Xia Xue showed a surprised baby's expression, you don't even know. Then she suddenly smiled coquettishly, you don't know, so there are things you don't know. Lin Moyu didn't speak, just looked at Xia Xue quietly. Is it that funny? I am not an encyclopedia, so there are many things I don't know. Xia Xue seemed to have found something interesting, with a smirk on her face. If you say something nice, I'll tell you. Lin Moyu turned his head and closed his eyes. Don't say it if you don't want to say it, let him say good things, it's impossible. Seeing Lin Moyu like this, Xia Xue suddenly lost interest. What an idiot, he can't even tell a joke. It is said that the minds of mages are the most flexible and jumpy. How can they be as rigid as you? I really suspect that you are a fake mage. Let me tell you, it's because I used a cooling amulet. Lin Moyu thought about the cooling talisman information in his memory, but found that he had no such knowledge. Don't even know what a talisman is. Didn't learn it in school. Xia Xue said, the cooling talisman can offset the cooldown time of the dungeon, allowing you to enter the dungeon repeatedly. Speaking of which, Xia Xue took out a palm-sized object and handed it to Lin Moyu, this is it. The talisman looks like a gemstone, with a charming light shining on the surface, and the talisman is engraved with all kinds of incomprehensible mysterious runes. The fingertips shimmered. Under the detection technique, Lin Moyu got the scroll information. Open black lens bracket primary cooling talisman close black lens bracket. Number of times used. 7/10. Introduction. It can offset the cooling time of the dungeon, and it is only valid for dungeons below level 20. Close black lens bracket. There is such a thing. Lin Moyu felt that he was really ignorant. Xia Xue said, I use this talisman to continuously enter dungeons, now you understand. If he had this thing, he could repeat dungeons repeatedly, and his level could rise quickly. Lin Moyu whispered, is this thing expensive? Xia Xue said, I don't know either, my father gave it to me and asked me to use it. But it should be quite expensive. At that time, seeing my father's appearance, he seemed to feel a little distressed. Xia Xue's family background is very good, and the family conditions are very good. Shihai Xia's family is well ranked in the entire Jiangning province. Things that even he would consider expensive are obviously worth a lot. After analyzing it, Lin Moyu lost the idea of getting a talisman. Xia Xue said, there are still 2 days left, and I will use up all 7 opportunities to reset the instance. Combining with my own cooldown time, I have to do at least 9 copies, so I can guarantee that I can reach level 15. My god, Miss Ben will be exhausted. Xia Xue had a frowning look on her face, but she seemed to have recovered a bit of what she should be at this age. She is no longer such a condescending young lady. Lin Moyu thought for a while, I can take you to brush the dungeon, and guarantee that you can upgrade to level 15, and you don't have to do it. As soon as Xia Xue's eyes lit up, why did he forget that there was a guy with a single book by his side? If you brush the copy with Lin Moyu, you don't have to do it yourself. And teaming up with 2 people has more experience than 3 people. Don't be tired, and have more experience, which is a great thing. The only problem is that the level will not be able to catch up with this guy. But even if he doesn't follow him, can he catch up? Xia Xue was not sure. After thinking about it, Xia Xue made a decision. If you can't catch up with the grade for the time being, let's not catch up. First, make sure you can enter Shajing Academy. Anyway, the career path has just started now, and the future is still far away. Sooner or later, I will catch up. Okay, I promise you. You take me to brush the copy, and I will share the amulet with you. Lin Moyu knew that Xia Xue would definitely agree, as long as she was not too stupid, she would not refuse. In this way, I can also brush several copies. Although the experience is much less each time, but more times, in fact, the gains are greater. This is a win-win result. Xia Xue said, then don't waste time, let's enter the dungeon together. Lin Moyu didn't move. In 2 more hours, my cooling time will be over. There are still 2 hours left, it's not worth using up a chance to reset the talisman. Xia Xue is not stupid, this kind of thing can be counted clearly. Okay, just wait for 2 hours, Miss Ben will go to bed first, and call me when you are done. As she said that, she fell asleep after a while. It is very dangerous to sleep so undefended in the wild. But Xia Xue slept peacefully because Lin Moyu was by her side. No matter how unconvinced Lin Moyu is, she understands Lin Moyu very well, so she can rest assured. Xia Xue curled up, sleeping soundly, with a smile on her lips. After Lin Moyu gave the skeleton a guardian order, he continued to meditate and regained his mental strength. 2 hours later, the cooldown of Lin Moyu's instance ended. Get up. Lin Moyu wakes Xia Xue up. Xia Xue's eyes were sleepy, so fast. Xia Xue got up and stretched her waist, revealing her slender belly button. At this moment, she was showing off her beautiful figure wantonly. Xia Xue is tall, 1.7 meters tall, and her body is even more uneven. It looks only a little shorter than Lin Moyu, who is 1.8 meters tall. The two stood side by side, like a match made in heaven. Only the skeleton warrior next to him was a bit of an unpleasant sight. After sleeping for 2 hours, Xia Xue's mental head has recovered a lot, and most of her fatigue has subsided. The two teamed up, with Lin Moyu as the captain, and came to the entrance of the instance together. Xia Xue used the primary cooling talisman to make the cooldown of her dungeon disappear. A gleam of light flowed on her body. Xia Xue nodded towards Lin Moyu. Okay, let's go in. Lin Moyu opened the copy, and then chose the difficulty of nightmare level. Xia Xue's face changed drastically. Did you choose the wrong one? The voice fell, and the two had disappeared at the door of the copy. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.